Welcome to the official AFL Fantasy Podcast with the Traders.
G'day with the Traders. Thanks to Sportsbet, I'm Roy. I coach Destroy, and I'm here with Warnie.
Coach of the Warn Dogs.
And Calvin.
Coach of Calvinator.
You two sound a little bit excited, and you have every right to be.
It's grand final week. It is grand final week. It's very exciting for a lot of coaches. Well, in a lot of leagues, it's probably like 1/8 of a lot of leagues that are actually excited this week.
I'm not alone.
And we're seeing a few numbers drop off. Even when I look through some of the like most trades and stuff, not as many people have got real hot on it on Sunday night.
It's tough once you get knocked out, isn't it?
It is. But we're still here. We've got another week. The last week of the season. Well done, boys. It's been a long season. We have been pumping out a lot of stuff since December.
Wasn't even Christmas and we started.
Well done, boys. Well
December
done.
is not far away. And we'll be starting again
back
soon.
into it again.
Anyway, so unbelievably, I reckon this is the first time in our history that our Bacon Cup Classic and Bacon Cup Draft is two of us.
100% it is.
And it's two of the same people in both because, Roy, you're not in either Classic or Draft.
Not in either.
Unbelievable scenes in Classic. Cal, you got up against the Manzacs.
Easy win against the Manzacs.
He's the most
Got a good
highest ranked coach out of the three of us.
So it's an upset.
It was an upset. He won't be happy.
There's only one person
You will
upset,
not be
Roy.
happy. Yeah, I don't
Was the
blame
Manzac.
I
him.
bet you've wiped that smug look on his face that we can see in the group chats every single time. I got up against Jonty over in Florida, who has one of the worst teams in our league.
Unbelievable. That's
a
why I
terrible
should
team.
still be in it.
100%.
So Roy lost to him
mighty.
last week. I only got him by 10.
See, what does he do?
I don't
How
know.
does he sap the talent out of the opposition?
I don't know. He sent me smug messages across there.
Oh, did he?
From sitting over there in Orlando. I could just see him.
Yeah.
Little lad popping up. Anyway, in draft though, Cal, this was like unbelievable scenes. So Chook, you got him by 5.
And you know what? Can I let you in on a secret? I tried to lose.
Well, that's it.
I didn't want to have to do what you did and organise the whole draft weekend.
Mate.
I tried to throw it and still won.
You did. And you didn't even get a big score from your mate Luke Ryan that got you into that.
Yeah, I know. I had the
we
worst.
see Luke Ryan.
Yeah.
Mr.
I had
150.
The worst draft.
It was about 100 points difference from what he
Yeah, it
scored.
was,
that week.
Over
Terrible team. It's laughable how bad
well,
my
it was at the start of the year. I haven't
was.
seen it lately.
It's probably worse than that.
Wow. Well done, you.
Yeah.
I got a lucky win over Stu by about 20 points. He had a little bit going on the weekend. I think that
he did
helped.
too.
That helped.
Oh, my God. It's hard to track your team when that's going on.
Yeah, so anyway, we've got ourselves to the grand final, Calvinator, Warn Dogs v Calvinator in Classic and Draft.
God, no one else will want to play if you two just keep dominating everything.
I know.
Oh, well.
Anyway, enough about
Well,
us.
here you go.
Oh, I could
God,
talk
it's the
about
first
us for a
I've
little
heard that.
while.
Do you want me to win draft or let Warnie win it? Because I don't mind.
No, well, the betterment of our league, I should win it.
Okay.
Because how bad would a trip be if he was organising it?
Go on the lakes.
depends.
We'll go on the
Oh,
lakes.
That's my fear.
It could be really good or really bad.
We would not run dry, that's for sure.
No. There'd be.
However, if we're up at the lakes,
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're not going up the lakes.
Well, I'm just
if
saying.
you win, we cannot go to
You
the
win
lakes.
it then. You win it and then we don't have to talk about
Well,
this
that's
anymore.
true, dog. It's not often I cheer for you, but go you.
All right, let's look at our scores. I'll go first because I had the worst score out of us. For the first time in months.
God,
That's
you are
month with
so
an S.
lucky that it was supposed to be me versus you this week.
22-41.
God, there would have been
scored.
tears.
Oh, dear.
An awful score. I was down 200 spots on the overall ranking after climbing every week.
Yeah. Wow.
What the hell did you just say? What was your score?
22-41.
Oh, my God.
My God.
Do you know what this
You're
is?
supposed to be an expert.
Okay.
We were told
I've
not
just-
the other day on Twitter as well, just slightly.
We were too. Now, do you know where this takes my mind?
Okay.
So you guys have got a massive grand final this week, right? One of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen before a grand final is two teams standing head to head, one team in the power stands.
Yep.
Have you ever heard?
You know who's in the power stance.
Have you ever heard of someone standing across from each other in a grand final in a green vest?
Yeah.
He's in the green vest in a grand
He's
final.
in the green vest.
You are cooked, mate.
He can have a false sense of security.
This is right up there. Oh, wow. green vest in a GF.
I've done some of the matchup analysis.
You're taking no form
He's
into
in
this
trouble.
final.
He's done.
You
He's
need
done
to
and
get pretty. You need to chase points.
Because I'm looking at my score here, and I beat Warney by, way over 100 points.
Way. 102. It's
That's
not
way over. That's way over. That's a smacking. That's embarrassing.
You actually moved up in the rankings. We're getting very close in our overall
Whoa.
rankings. I've only got you by 108 spots at the moment.
I can't wait to watch the awkwardness of you two this weekend.
It's going to be so much fun.
Live and on display to the world.
The funny thing is, though,
too.
so we're in the grand final, but your score actually smashed us this week.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I should be in there if it wasn't for that.
For the fourth time this year, you've
Unlucky.
actually top scored for the round.
And look how much I smoked you by. See, that's the thing. I wasn't so unlucky this week, and the cream rises to the top. I'll win next week as well.
It's a big score.
Hey, it's all right.
All right, let's look at these.
Here it is! That's what you did, Jenny. You stuck it right up them.
Who stuck it right up them for you?
Well, mine was a captain who brought it home right at the end.
He did.
And Mills with the 129 because we all went Laird as a vice captain, especially everyone that had him because he played nice and early.
Yeah.
And he failed.
It's your fault.
Yeah.
Boy, pig talk. Come on.
Oh, well, yeah.
Pigs don't do that.
He had a
No,
Not
nice
in a
team.
preliminary final. Think about things that Rocky did in those finals.
Oh, yeah.
150s we're talking.
Average
140s
100.
were quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
So the fact that you can turn to someone like Mills, great matchup though, Roy.
It was a great
And
matchup.
he went bananas.
And did well at the end, despite...
Yeah.
Was he a goalkeeper?
He was a goalkeeper. Yep.
Yeah.
They did that thing that they do with him. But they had enough control that he still snuck a couple of plus sixes in there, and got it up to a very impressive 129. Now, my plus 3 was another good matchup, but Himmelberg, he had to get it done back there.
The bird.
And he certainly did. Did anyone see the start of that game?
Yes.
He could have potentially gone even bigger. They just went kick to kick back there.
Even prior to the start of that game,
Oh, yeah, true.
he was with the Ford group. And that
was.
may have tricked a few people.
100%.
Or had you worried about
Because
it?
it was hot on the tweets, wasn't
Yeah.
it? People were keeping an eye on which group he warmed up with, and he warmed up with the forwards,
Well,
which
they
was complete panic station.
A ridiculous amount of marks in that game. It was
wrote it down.
165 for the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, 265. And they had 160.
No,
No,
they-
256 for the game in total.
Yeah.
Giants had 165, beating
That's
the
the
old,
most this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the old record was 181 for a game.
Well, they had a phenomenal amount in the first 5 minutes, and a lot of them were in the back 50.
ridiculous.
So it was huge, but he got his 120 for me, and he's kind of unique. So, he's my plus 3.
6 guys in that game went over 120.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
So I won my final against Jonty by 10, and I was pushing it uphill. I needed a decent quarter from Rosie.
Oh, this was massive.
He scored 115, which got me over the line. So 105, loss.
Wow.
115, win. He had 24 points after the 25th minute in the last quarter.
That's huge.
And Jonty was up at about 4 a.m. Florida time. You nervous? You nervous? Yes, I was. But
Wow.
got him. And I hope his day was crap after that because he's a Carlton supporter too. So he deserves that, doesn't he?
Jeez.
Play on.
It was the most disgraceful display I've ever seen.
Because it's just not acceptable.
Speaking of Carlton supporters,
Yes.
Roy, that was smugness about him knowing that Crips would get off.
That was elite. That is some of
Unbelievable.
your best work.
Thank you.
Unbelievable.
You had multiple stages all set out about how it would all work.
I did.
And you'd go, stage 2 activated. And I'm thinking, he's just been an idiot.
At least Cripper got a good score as well, unlike his
100% he
mate,
did.
Sam Walsh.
What? Walshy?
You tried to sabotage my team.
I did. I always try to sabotage your team. However,
79.
he'll
Walsh.
make up for it this week. But
He better.
have
He
your
needs
rant
179.
first. Have your rant first.
He's a fraud.
Oh!
Connor
That's
Rosie
inappropriate.
can win me a
language.
final with 115.
Why didn't you give your negative 3 to Brayshaw? He had less than Walsh.
And with the C on his
And
head.
with
No,
the
you
C.
didn't.
What? Well, you had him higher. You had him the highest
really?
in the captains,
I
and
didn't
that's
know
what I
this.
reverted to. No, honestly, if you were here this weekend, I would have been at your house banging on that door. I would have, because you stitched me up. You both stitched me up this week. If I had have lost based on Walsh, you telling me to get him, and you telling me to go Brayshaw as my captain. 4th on your list.
Hey, isn't he going to win the Brownlow, though?
Oh, he's so good.
He's so good. You pressured me last week to put him 4th on the list.
He did.
Yeah.
I wanted you to
vouch for that.
research it because you hate him.
I do. No.
Now I do.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Wow. We'll talk about him later, Roy.
Can I say, it's not going to be good again, is
It's
it?
not going to be good
Give
again.
Tim English some -3 as well for his 69.
That was bad.
We flagged it.
That was flagged.
That would have been nice if we could have made that move.
Yeah.
Imagine that. So there would have been some aggressive coaches that went, hey, that flag is real.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yep.
Yeah,
And done all right.
very much so.
Where did you give yours to, Cow?
I went to, just because you get tagged, I'm talking
You're right.
Lockie
No,
Neal
it's
here.
very fair.
You can still do other things.
Yeah.
Don't just have a big sook about it.
This was another flag.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
This is where I'm with you a little bit, Roy. Neal should be better than Dacos. Dacos was 5 points better.
Oh, was he? Don't worry.
So that was right. That was...
Yeah, no, that is disappointing. Mine is Jack Steele.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
God, he's just supposed to be such a safe play.
Safe.
And he has been anything but the last 2 weeks. So hasn't hit 100 in 2 weeks. How many touches do you reckon he had on the weekend?
I don't know.
13.
What?
Is that all?
Possessions.
Oh, gross.
Often racks up 13 tackles in the
Yep,
game.
13 possessions. Took a couple of marks. Did his token 7 tackles, I think.
Oh, my.
Awful.
That's a terrible
It was.
effort.
Yep. Now, if you remember back to last week, because you had more confidence in him than me,
Yep.
you didn't watch him as close as me that week before.
No.
As an owner, I watched closely. Sometimes you just got to trust the eye.
Yep.
The interest levels looked low. I reckon their season was still alive, so interest levels can't have been the issue. He must be carrying an injury because you should see him out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is not proper Jack Steele.
Okay.
No, huge concern and well-deserved -3 given the last 2 weeks. Shocking.
We'll just have a quick look at the best team of the week. That was Blake's team, the B Sharps, 25-46.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's a lot more than my score.
Gosh.
A lot more. So if you wanted to be in the top 100 at the moment, you needed to make up 2,334 points. Tom's table toppers is there at the moment. So 47,893 is what you need to win one of those caps.
He'd be nervous sitting at 100.
Well, if he's 101st though, Cow,
That's right.
you get the unlucky mug.
Gets you unlucky,
And
mate.
then if someone gets kicked out, you get both.
That's right.
Perfect.
Yes, so that's where that's sitting. Now, we will talk about the race, the Toyota Hilux. Only 38 points are between Matt and
Now
James,
that
who we've
is
spoken
the
to in the last couple of weeks
definition
on the podcast. So,
Of nerve-wracking.
yep, we'll chat about that later on in the show.
Here's the news of the week you need to know on the official AFL Fantasy podcast.
Probably not a bad week with news. Not too many big things that are affecting
Yet.
us. Yet.
Yet.
They will.
They
Of
will.
course
It'll
they
look
will.
quiet
It's grand
early and then
final
it's
week.
going to go bang, bang, bang.
Oh, Bombers has probably got a new coach this week. There's a bit of news.
Sort of. Not a relevant team.
They'll win.
Well, that's
New coach
relevant.
win. They'll flip everything around. They might have 200 marks between them because of their game plan.
That could be significant change. You're
Anyway,
right, dog.
Brad Crouch is probably the big one there. Suspended for a week. One of the form players of the competition.
Oh, he's been very good.
And I know a few people went there as
Yeah.
that unique option.
Don't blame him.
Yeah, it looked good. So he'll be out for a week. Jordan Goey was a laid out with a hip flexor. The confident he'll play next week. Another laid out was Adam Chera, Roy.
Yeah.
Our mate Jeppa brought him in. That's
Oh, that
devastating
was
there.
unlucky, wasn't it?
So an adductor strain, so tightness after training apparently. Their midfield though, Hewitt done, Kennedy out as well. Doherty ran on the ball, Roy.
Way to step up
Yeah.
on the ball. So
And scored
there was
well.
obviously a huge void there, and he was amazing. I think he had 18 CBAs in the end. Now, we thought he was going to be good in that matchup because we thought he'd be a cross half-back taking +6s.
Yep.
But instead, he moved into the middle, and his tackling pressure, especially late, was absolutely elite. Did he lay 10?
He laid 10.
10 tackles. So the interesting thing here is, dog, I reckon he's number one defender this week, even if he plays in defence, right?
Yep.
However, given the fact that he will likely be on the ball,
Yeah.
he's playing the Pies in a must-win game. The Doc.
Yep. I know exactly what you're saying.
This could be humongous.
Captain,
Oh, 100%.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Should have followed that on your list. Oh, no. He was behind Brayshaw.
Goodness me, you're angry at other people.
Yeah,
You're blaming other people this week.
Yeah, just settle down, dog.
You're supposed to be experts.
Well, you get what you pay for, mate.
Yeah, exactly. You tricked me into it.
Get on to your next news item.
For the Roos, Jack Siebel hurt his shoulder and was subbed out. Old mate Stevenson played forward right. Hurt his back.
You didn't go there, did you?
No, I'm not the one that told everyone to either.
Friday video trades were there. One of our many takes of that one too.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, that's an asterisk.
I got confused too.
Anderson was concussion yesterday. That was a bad. That should be breaking news. In behind the curtain here. We're getting a little bit bored on Thursday night with the Crips tribunal stuff.
Oh, God.
And Cow and I. He's getting suspended. Yeah, it's just a formality. Anyway, waiting. All right, let's film our video. Crips is suspended. Let's go and do our trades around that. And then we better do one just in case he gets off. All right, let's do that.
See, it just goes to show you guys have not been listening to me at all the last couple of weeks. We needed to film one video. Yeah. As I said, Cripper getting off.
And so I went home and edited that.
I expect some
and
apologies
I edited the
from
wrong
that.
one.
You gave one. Thank you. You manned up and just said, Yep.
Sorry.
Because you were very highly critical of me.
Oh, very highly.
As were you.
He won't apologise.
You were very rude about it.
He never apologised.
You would not listen to me.
He should not have gotten off.
Oh, my God.
He's still going.
He still goes. Just sometimes it wouldn't hurt for you to listen. That's all I'm saying. And apologise.
Sadly, the Blues will make the finals now too.
I hope
That's
so.
the worst.
Come on. Massive game this week.
Right. What else have we got here? Bont is an issue. Possibly. He's got an adductor injury and they said he's playing through it. And you can see that he's not right.
You can see he's not right.
So
you
he
are right.
could be someone that you actually moved on even if named.
Yeah, true.
Yes.
100%.
Could be for that. Tanner Bruin out with concussion. Now, Timmy Taranto should be back as well from his concussion. Keith has a groin without an R. Groin. Jimmy Webster, hammy. Not that that's real relevant. Okay, let's look at a couple of Magoo's news. Could Fiorini come back in before he should get traded or something? 149 he had, 32 disposals, 2 goals and 14 tackles. Big game.
Check the waiver wire, dog.
Taran Thomas is another one, which I think a few people... I think, Roy, did you snag him on the waiver? Someone did.
Oh, yeah.
115 he had. So he should be back in after his 29 disposals and 3 goals, especially with those injuries for the Roos. Horn Francis had a 99 after his demotion. Laddams had 152. Does that affect things? Do they play both?
Oh, they definitely could.
Hickey and
But
Laddams
do they
against
need
Marshall.
to?
No, they don't need to.
Harmsy had 129. Joy Menzies may come in for the Bombers. He made his debut there as a Medi sub a couple of weeks ago and was dropped. Had a 98 with 20 disposals and 2 goals. And Crows, do they bring in Crouch for his last game for the club?
No, they
had
don't.
a 94.
No, because they don't want to celebrate him at the moment.
No.
Haitley, 120. So if they did need to bring someone in, that's who it could be.
Don't think it happens.
You can watch VFL and Waffle matches along with live stats on afl.com.au and the AFL Live official app.
Hi guys, Sarah Ollie here from the AFL Exchange podcast. You can grab this show every Monday night with myself, Riley Beveridge and Cal Toomey. Plus catch the brand new Fresh Drop on Thursday mornings with Exchange Extra. We are delving into all the things that matter in the footy world, so join us as we get to the bottom of the issues the fans want answered on field and off field. The serious and also the not so serious stuff. That's AFL Exchange. Find us wherever you listen to your podcasts and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Right, issues for this week. And I think the last month or so, we've seen an increase in tags.
Would it be fair to say back in vogue?
Back in vogue.
vogue.
Someone would
They
have
are,
said
aren't they?
that.
Yeah, I reckon.
What does that mean? Does it mean that the...
Something to do with...
Is it the magazine?
Yeah, I reckon.
Are they in there? Like, open up and go, tags.
Oh,
back in vogue.
Back in vogue.
Yeah. Back in the
would
magazine.
be. Well done, dog.
Gosh.
Possibly.
Pull that apart. Yeah.
All right. So,
clever.
let's have a look here at who are the likely ones.
Okay.
So...
Because these obviously affect captains.
Yeah,
and they
big
could
time.
also really affect who you trade out this week.
Well, we're chasing
and avoid
ceilings.
trading in
Yes.
as well.
Chasing ceilings and form.
The biggest
and
one,
matchups.
the biggest tag happening this week is to your Brownlow medalist, your little boy in Brayshaw.
Who's that? Perryman.
Yes.
What's he been doing?
So Perryman last week went to Libba, held him to 68. The week before that, Zach Merritt 55.
Yeah, he's good.
He's legit good.
Because he's someone who's actually a good player
Yes.
already. So his ability to then be able to tag with the knowledge of being good himself is really good. So I've got huge fears for you this week, dog.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit worried
He'll
about
trade. He'll trade that.
I would trade.
You have to trade that.
The other tagger that's working very well and hard at the moment is Windhager.
Oh, yes. Windy.
Outstanding.
So where's he going to? Is it Mills or is it to a Warner?
Or a Parker. I think he goes to Mills.
Do you?
But Mills will then just play a different role.
That's the thing, John.
Yep.
You're right. Because say, it's as silly as this sounds, it's harder to tag if they're on a wing.
Yeah.
And Mills starts on a wing so often that I don't think he cops the tag. So that does leave Parker and Warner, as you said.
Warner would be a chance.
He'd be a nice one to take out of the machine.
That's an interesting one.
It is very interesting.
Now, Willem Drew, he could go to Laird. So
he spent a bit of time on Merritt early and was keeping Merritt lower.
He did. So Merritt ended up with 86. Merritt does not get tagged this week. We'll talk about him in a moment. But, yeah, Laird's an interesting one this week because... So he's coming off a 92. That's his second lowest score for the year. Earlier this year, he played against Port Adelaide, who are a red team on the scale.
They are very red.
Yeah,
too.
and that was his lowest score for the year, which is a 90.
And his history against him is not great either.
He has a highest score of 105 in his last 8 against Port Adelaide. So that is a concern.
It's a massive
You're not ever
concern.
going to trade him.
No.
But as far as captaincy goes, I don't know if we can be, and that's a Saturday night game. That's an interesting one. Now, Finn McGuinness, you would think he goes to Libba.
Yep. I'd be safe to
That
lock that one
seems
in.
to be that one.
Yeah.
And I guess that's quite relevant, especially for draft owners as well. Does Clayton Oliver get a little bit of a Reese Matheson? What's his name?
The Beast.
The Beast.
Beast.
Yeah, I don't think that happens.
What about...
Beast spends bits of time with people. When he's on and he's in the...
He's
like
just
at
more
a
likely
stoppage,
just to get hurt by him.
He's just very... He's defensive-minded there.
Yep.
Other one, Ryan Clark will keep flagging as a tag flag all the time.
Yeah.
Is that a Sinclair?
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon?
Yeah.
Last game to ruin it for everyone?
Hill.
Not everyone, just
Hill?
his owners.
Oh, yeah, me.
Yeah.
You guys
Hill?
don't have him either, do you?
No.
Far out.
What about...
I'm up against it this
You are.
week.
You're going to get tagged. You're getting tagged hard this week.
Yeah, you're done.
Welcome to my
So
last
you've never
week,
been
mate.
able to get these good players in your team,
It's a strategy.
and I've got them.
That was like me last week, and you wouldn't listen to me. I had 8 of the best midfielders in the comp, and they were all tagged.
I think that tag goes to Brad Hill anyway.
It's not very fun, is it, dog?
I don't reckon that goes to Sinclair. I hope it goes to Sinclair.
But I have to get up on the grassy knoll.
It's definitely...
Get a sniper hamstring action, I reckon.
Hill
we
is
need.
definitely a chance for that. You are right. He'd be just the favourite over Sinclair.
Agree.
Hopefully.
Nah,
Right.
but
Tags
it's
are an
definitely-
issue, and it could decide
it is
what
an
you
issue.
do this week. It could be, obviously, captains, you say, Cal.
Yeah.
Could be who you actually go on to move out.
So,
Geez, it'd be a big move to get rid of a Brayshaw, for example.
yeah, definitely.
One of the
But,
highest
like,
scorers of the
last
year.
week, so for example, Dog, you were torn between the two. Neal and Dacos, you were both thought huge chances to get tagged.
Got him right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. That's why I traded Neal the week before, because I knew that was coming, and then I got Dacos out this week because of this tag, because it's back
High
in
fantasy
Vogue.
IQ.
Sure it is.
Vogue.
It is.
Can't wait to go to the newsagents and pick up my new edition. All right, put something back on you, Destroy. Actually,
Bring it.
put them on the line.
I
Put
will.
them up on the table like our mate Pokey had to the other day. So,
Look.
what are you going to give us for your rolling 22? Because you've actually got one game to get it right for.
I do. So it's a tough gig. It's lucky it's me on the job here, the form player of the competition. Now, it is so unique, such a unique situation, because you don't just want to get silly. You don't just go, it's one of the really green teams and they went well a couple of weeks ago.
You could.
That's what he would do.
So
exactly
it's a mix
right.
between doing that, which is very tempting, but then also credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
All right, now, the credit where credit's due part isn't as recognisable throughout this list. There is a lot of chasing. Well, 3 main criteria. Okay.
There's criteria?
Yes, there's heaps, but I'll go through 3 of them. Right. So the matchup, huge in this one.
Yep.
Form, huge in this one. Ceiling, huge in this one.
The key.
When
one of the 3 criteria keys.
Almost what takes me the longest is the weighting part. When I have to weight each of the criteria.
Are there calculations involved?
Humongous. Now, this is where we're going to start in defence.
Right.
Doc is going to be huge. You'll be able to put the C on Doc. It's that kind of scenario for Doc back there. After that, it is Dawson, Hall, Brandon Ellis.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
His form and matchup is just too much for me to ignore. Brayshaw, great form. And this is the tough one. I have given it to Sick Dog, who I don't think is going to be back in the middle.
What role does he play?
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Mitchell, honestly.
I know. Come on. I don't think he'll be back in the middle this week. I think he will be one of those players taking all the marks that the Dogs allow. And it's down here at Pig Park, where the pockets are actually 5 metres from where they used to be. However, he will still find space back there. I think he'll be great. Now, the ones that are just missing out, Berg, based on, what he's been doing.
Yep.
But there's always that risk with him as well. And I think Rich is going to be a safe triple-figure defender this week versus the Demons.
He's cheap.
He is
Good
cheap.
Play.
So he's actually a good play being in the mix for that, given his price.
Good list.
It is a good list.
Sinclair?
Well, he would just be, but he deserves to still be in that mix, Sinclair. He's definitely there with the Berg and Rich.
All right, let's look at the midfield. So these could be the top scoring players of the weekend with captaincy as well in mind.
100%. You'd be looking at these blokes for captaincy responsibilities.
Powell will be the judge of that.
Oh, I will. Now, it's not a bad list, though.
Isn't it? No,
He's done it right.
The prime example of ticking all those boxes, match-up, ceiling, form,
yes,
is Touk Miller, who is 100% back. That guy, since the buys, has been absolutely phenomenal. And he's done a job on the Roos already earlier this year, went over 130. He is the number one there. Now, second, now you can call this what you like, especially after the insults that flew my way last week. Number 2 in the Roland 22 midfield is Patrick Crips.
Interesting.
Versus Collingwood, must-win game, huge shoulders, carrying a lot of people. Elite the way he played the last couple of weeks. Crippers number 2. Then we've got Mills, Oliver. Next one, controversial. Could call it biased. But I think Sam Walsh is going to return a big score for you, Dog.
It's just you buttering me up.
No, this is 120 plus
as well
without
as
blinking. Simpkin is in there, believe it or not. Bit of match-up and form. Yep. Laird is popping in at 7, Cow. Now, that is purely respect. There, and I think Merritt will avoid the tag as you said earlier, and he rounds out the 8 midfielders.
Wow, that's a good list.
It's all right, isn't it?
So you would have Cripper ahead of Walsh?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
I have to, based on his body of work over the last month. Yep. Cripper is really back to beast mode.
Rucks. What does this look like now?
Bloody interesting.
Romo.
Yeah.
Roma.
Yeah, whatever he is. Rowan Marshall remains number 1, and I've been hot on that for about a month, and Max has been outstanding. But Rowan Marshall's matchup this week is so good that I can't go past him. His form is obviously outstanding as well. Now, here's where it gets interesting. You've got Max, the very easy safe pick here.
Yep.
His last 2 weeks have been phenomenal. He's marking the ball again. But bear with me.
If you're bringing a ruck, he's the name that you would only be confident bringing in.
100%.
Yeah. Because who's on the rest of this list?
Sean Darcy.
He's coming off a big one,
He's coming off 150, and his matchup as well is unbelievably outstanding. Okay, I think he's coming up against Briggsy, who barely got a hit out last week.
Yeah.
So we're going to put a line through him purely because it was in his favour, the weather conditions. The amount of stoppages meant he had the opportunity to have over 50 hit outs.
Record number of hit outs in a derby, boy.
Right. So I'll put a line through him for that.
Right.
However, should be really big again.
He should.
Look, and it nearly caused
You
me...
can't pick him over Max if you're bringing somebody in.
But you know what? I like him so much based on the matchup and that form last week that a forward nearly got the boot.
Oh, so you put Marshall in the forward line.
Nearly, but I haven't done that. Now, another one who could be in the mix is Riley O'Brien.
No.
Due to matchup.
Yes, I'm with you
this week. It's going to be embarrassing. Some of the rucks that are rolling out at the moment.
There's going to be some teams. You've got him in your team.
So I would never tell a soul to bring him in. However, if you're an owner, he might look after you in the grand final. So, long story short, Max is at number 2.
Right.
All right, but those other two deserve to mention.
For a 1 week hit.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You're taking him on your players trip as well. Remember that.
Yeah, that works against him.
Yeah. Riley O'Brien. Thing is, there's going to be teams that are going to get a great score out of him this week that should not be in a final with Riley O'Brien in their team.
He hasn't been too bad. He's been pumping the odd ton. Anyway, moving into the forward line. Luke Parker. Wowee.
Yep.
Just amazing. So he's been disrespected somewhat this year, always sitting about third, in the rolling, but he's just been elevated. He's number 1.
The tag flag doesn't worry you at all?
Well, it concerns me slightly, but based on his form, he deserves to be there. Dunkley and Smith should have a field day at Pig Park.
They should.
So triple figure incoming, you would think. Cornelio, he just deserves that spot as well. Tim Taranto coming back is, you could say, a slight flag because they mix things up sometimes when they don't need to.
Spike.
The Giants. But Cornelio's there. Then Connor Rosie, he's only had one blip on the radar in the last 5 weeks. So he...
As an owner, would you like to bring him in?
Yes.
You would?
Yeah, I'm totally
You've
fine with
said
it.
some negative words about him recently.
I have. Yeah, well, that's what
Are you back on speaking terms with him?
No, God, no, but I'm willing to be the bigger guy and still at least give credit where credit is due, apart from, costing me a win last week, you little turd. And then the last one is, I'm bringing Duncan back in here for an absolutely bruise-free Markfest versus the Eagles. They will sap any heartbeat out of that game very early, and then they don't want injuries.
Yeah.
They want possession footy, and I can't see how he won't take his 10 or 12 marks and just get to the ton really
him
easy.
a lot as an option.
Someone that misses out that I really liked what he's done the last 3 weeks is Zach Butters.
Another player that you're on speaking terms with?
God, no. And as an owner, horrified by his good form at the end of the year, which I just refused to trade him out through his 50s and his 60s and his 70s. But he's now doing what we bought him for at the start of the year. So he is the unlucky one to miss out at the moment.
He doesn't get to play Essendon every week, though.
No, he doesn't. But have you seen his matchup this week?
Juicy one, isn't it?
It is a juicy one.
Crows.
The Crows, exactly right.
Your rabble of a team.
They are. So, So I think he's good, but he just misses out.
All right. Great list, Destroy.
Yeah, thanks.
Let's see how that goes, how many points that 22 scores.
Lots.
Be interesting.
Yeah,
Will it score more than our teams? Easily.
Yes.
You would like to think so. There was no...
Otherwise, you'd be looking at the criteria
no salary
again.
Cap or... No, I would have
just
to tweak
before we
the criteria.
move on here, popular players that you can trade out, we flagged this as a little bit of a discussion point because that's where we're at. We're in a position where we are trading out players, so that normally on any other given week we would keep because it is that 1 week matchup. So it's almost the reverse of the rolling 22.
It is, yeah.
Of going guys that could actually suck despite being in the rolling 22. So let's throw some names. Tim English.
Look, if Steph
Martin
is named, that's almost a must trade.
It's a must trade if Steph is named this week.
Backline, Crisp. What's he done since the bye?
He's not one ton, dog.
Yeah.
Not one. Now, he barely, I think twice, maybe 3 times prior to the bye, he dropped under 100. Post-bye, hasn't hit it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
He can go.
Too right, he can go.
All right. In the forward line then, Bonte's one that I've sort of threw up and flagged as one that could go because of that slight injury that he's carrying. But, I think it's just...
If it wasn't must win, they'd probably rest him.
Yeah.
So, no, he can be traded.
He's a tricky one. Now, midfielders are probably where you can actually move them to someone that you believe is going to score well.
Yeah.
So, Petrarca, easy one to say, trade.
Yep.
What about Jack Steele?
See, I'm comfortable with it.
Are you?
Yeah, especially if it could get you the cash to fix someone else up.
Yeah.
If you could find a value pick, look, 13 possessions.
Oh, yeah.
It's just not enough. And it's not like he's got a dream matchup.
This week. That's crazy.
He hasn't got a dream matchup.
His last two scores on Sydney, though, so it's at Marvel, 139, 137 last year. But that's when he was being normal Jack Steele.
Yeah.
And it's not happening at the moment.
It's far from
he
happening.
can go. I'm happy with that.
God, that's a big call, though. Like, I'm not saying if you've got Jack Steele, trade him.
No.
But if you're in a position where he's on the block for you in a certain scenario, I could see why you were doing it.
The big one, though, is Brayshaw. That's a move that a lot of people will do, I reckon, this week.
Do you think they will?
He 100% gets tagged by Perryman. That happens every single day.
It does.
Every single day.
I couldn't bring myself to trade him out, to be honest, but that's an 80 incoming.
Lower. Yeah. It's going to be bad.
It's in Canberra too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
boy.
you could go to, like, if you don't have, say, Clayton Oliver, that could be a big difference just between those two this week.
It could. Have you seen Brayshaw's scores in Canberra as well?
I'm in a world of trouble.
I haven't seen them. I was just asking.
Yeah.
I don't reckon they'd be very good.
No, they'd be horrible.
What about Lachie Neal? There's one for you.
Yeah.
He just bounces back, doesn't he? If you just sat with that tag and put up with his 60 last week, you should be fine again this week.
The only little flag there is if Harmsy comes back in.
He gets out of the vest.
Yeah, which I don't think he was good in the VFL, didn't you say? But
Maybe.
it doesn't even mean that he comes back to tag though.
No.
So I'm okay
He had
with
129 and 35 disposals. Doubt that he's tagging doing that though.
No.
If that's a role that he gets him back in for.
I don't think they'd significantly change to a style of play where there's a midfield tagger anyway.
Just to answer your question before, Brayshaw has played one game in Canberra, 46.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
That's not a real stat.
No, it is. I'm looking at it here. Ground. Was he
Canberra.
46. Was in his debut season.
See, I was flagging it for you.
Probably wearing a vest or something.
I knew it popped into my head for a reason.
Far out.
46.
Gee.
Put a C on him
I
again,
need
dog.
this season to end as soon as possible.
Don't worry, it's about to.
Which the season is about to end for these couple of blokes. Matt Mottram, coach of Mottram's Marvels, and James, who's the coach of Shuckers. Gosh. Now, they're at 1 and 2, and I think it's one of those two that is going to win the Toyota Hilux. Let them stew, Luke's team, a little bit further behind. I think it might be a bit too much. A couple of 100 points at the moment. And Brett's bust a move. That's a little bit further out, who has been very good as well. But we'll look at the top two teams. So Matt's team scored 23-10 this week. James's team scored 23-84, made up 74 points this week. So it's only 38 points the difference. Now, these two blokes have only 3 players of difference, the points of difference in their team. So Matt, with a 38-point lead, has Short, Crisp, and Bailey Smith. We've thrown that Crisp flag up out of that group.
Big time.
And hasn't been good. Short, you probably aren't confident with him.
No, you're not. He's just playing the Bombers, isn't he? So he should be fine.
And Bailey Smith against Hawthorn should be all right. As long as that tag flag isn't part of him.
100%. And I don't think he will be tagged. So out of those three, it's
Crisp is the bad one. Whereas James's team here, so his points of difference, and the ones that would just not make you sleep well at night at times, for
it's
a
exciting.
number of reasons.
Yeah.
Aaron Hall,
Love it.
but it could be massive this week, as long as he doesn't give you a 12 like he did when he got injured
which is
early.
every chance.
Dane Zorko,
Every chance.
Good matchup, though.
good matchup. And Harry Himmelberg.
Look, I'll tell
They're
you what.
3 exciting names.
They are.
Do you know what? You said you would lose sleep over those 3. Both coaches would. As an owner,
exactly.
you
Yeah,
would.
exactly. That's what I mean. It's like
That's
one of those.
just- They are also exciting and also fraught with danger.
Yeah. So
This is an amazing matchup.
So as we have 2 trades per week, let's have a look and see what they might actually do.
Okay.
James and Matt, if
I
you are
recommend
listening, switch off.
Do not listen
And don't
to
let any of this sway you either positively or
No,
negatively.
James, I've got your back.
Right. So you're taking on James's team, Cal. What do you think you should do?
So I've had a look at what they did for captains last week as well. So James led into Mills.
Nice.
and Matt went Laird into Oliver.
Right.
Matt would have Mills, wouldn't he?
Mills was better than Oliver.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Matt would have Mills and went Oliver instead.
Yeah, he did.
So, like in that top spot, I'd be straight bat the whole time.
As far as captains go this week, it's not as straight bat as it was last week.
No.
We didn't have Rory Laird in a juicy matchup than Mills, who has Collingwood. There's nothing really like that this week. It's a little bit harder.
There's nowhere to hide this week
No.
with your captain.
So they could all go something different.
So I'm saying you don't go Laird. I'm going to tell James, don't listen. You go Laird if you want to go Laird, mate. Little disclaimer. Yeah. But this is what I reckon he should do for his trades. I reckon he can dump Andy Brayshaw, right, and bring in Cripper or a Walsh.
Right.
And Roy would say Crips over Walsh.
Right?
Yes.
So he
yes, I
could do
would.
that and gives him another unique player. Cripper will outscore Brayshaw this week.
Yes.
Okay. And the other one I would look at doing would be the English has to go. And that's where, looking at your rolling there, a guy like Riley O'Brien in that Port Adelaide matchup, he should have a ton. So,
wow.
I know that these moves are probably moves.
No.
Hey,
hopefully you listen to Dog and switched off.
Let's just wait to see.
We cannot ever recommend someone in the top 2 bring in Riley.
Good matchup.
It's a great matchup.
It's a great matchup. However, this Brayshaw play is going to be something I keep.
Because they've both got Brayshaw, obviously.
Yes. So it'd be nice not to have him this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, so James, hope you didn't take any notes on that.
No.
I would not be doing any of those moves. However, by getting rid of a Brayshaw means that Matt's got him and you don't.
So
then Matt, Crisp, for example, he needs to match one of those. Well, they're all defenders, aren't they?
Yes.
Paul, Zorko, Himmelberg. He needs to match one of those. So who would you try to match?
Well, I'd go back to that roll on 22 that I just did that goes Doc, Dawson, Hall.
Right. So
given Hall's number 3. And this would be very fearful for Matt because Hall, it's just, when we talk about those criteria again, you think about this. So you add a couple more that I've got in there. So we've got ceiling, Aaron Hall. Yes.
Too right.
Form, he's been going over 120.
Yep.
When he plays.
Yep. Matchup.
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, now picture this. It is a dead rubber.
Yep.
It is against his old club.
Revenge game.
It is just a nothing game, nothing other than a chance to, I don't know, play for your career even. Who laps that up? The last game of the season.
The only small flag I'll throw out there is it Lemons? What's his name, Dog?
Lemons.
Not so he
tagged Lemons that game.
Yeah. He tagged Tom Stewart last week.
Right.
So if they got to go with something similar, then you would assume that maybe Aaron Hall is that guy.
Who tags in a dead rubber?
Well, that's exactly right.
I just don't think it happens. And the thing is, you're not chasing him to get an advantage anyway. You're just cancelling it out.
Yes.
So I think that is probably the play.
Agree.
I don't think you can lose by doing that move, but I think you can lose by not doing that move.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what I'd consider, and this is bad as well because it's something you would never have done through the year, but bringing it home with a C on Doc if required.
Yep.
I think that could be a play. I think, in my head, I'm thinking Doc 140 territory, potentially.
Doc's number 3 on Calvin's captains.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
So we align on that one.
Agree.
But this is an amazing matchup.
Amazing matchup. We'll be following this very closely this weekend. We're going to be on Saturday afternoon at the London Tavern Hotel in Richmond. We'll be there from midday, so from 12 o'clock, leading into that first game of the afternoon, starting at 1:45. I think it is Gold Coast and North Melbourne as well, that one.
Whoa.
The Aaron Hall game. Revenge game. That's going to be a telling game.
I love how it's still a revenge game so many years down the track.
So anyway, we'll be there. So head along. We're looking forward to that. We'll do something, as long as we can get some speakers, talk at about 1 o'clock. Although if there's about 5 people, we might just get in there.
Yeah, just come sit on the table, guys.
Sit there. But yeah, we'd love to have as many people come along as well. Celebrate the end of the season. Bring your league mates down. Bring the bloke you're playing in your heavyweight battle of grand final
Who do I get to bring? No one.
Can you just stay in between us the whole time? That would actually be
That might be
quite
required.
handy. Let's now look at our trades ahead of round 23, thanks to Toyota. Oh, what a feeling. Right, so the most popular moves so far, limited data actually, because people are just going, putting the phone away a little bit now. Touk Miller is the most traded in player. And then Aaron Hall at number 2. Must have been listening to the podcast. Angus Brayshaw, Clayton Oliver and Sam Doherty make up the top 5. So all very good premiums to be bringing in.
That's it, isn't it?
Most traded out. So Jack Crisp is the most traded out player. So that is going to be with all of those other defenders to bring in.
Yeah.
He's sort of... You might as well. Elijah Hollins, Jace Burgoyne, Nick Dacos, and Lockie Neal also make that list.
Wowzers.
That's a rage trade.
It is.
All right, let's have a look at our moves then. I'm going to go with mine. So I've got Bont, so I'm going to move him and Crisp, and I'm bringing in Duncan against West Coast and Ellis against North Melbourne. So they're my 2 that I can fit within my money and salary cap. So
right.
I'm just chasing those matchups there. Duncan and Ellis, I think they're both options and top 6s.
Yes, you're spot
Top
on,
6s
dog.
of each of their respective
They
lines
are.
destroyed.
Yep, no, well done. Good job.
I like that you're bringing in Duncan just to match my Duncan.
You traded him out.
Oh, yeah, did too. Right, moving on.
Won't that be great? Actually, I shouldn't be telling you what I'm doing.
Right, I am. Tim English goes for me because Steph Martin will play again.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to act on that straight away. A little bit of forward movement there, and I can bring in Cornelio, who I think is one of the best forwards this week.
Yep, nice. I'm getting rid of Speakino, English, and Chippy. Crisp out. And I'm bringing in Rich because he's just out of my list. So he didn't quite make it, but he's good value back there, as you mentioned
cash.
earlier, Dog. And that will give me enough money to get Bailey Smith, who I think is going to be great on Pig Park in Launceston.
Well, fire up your app. Get your trades made. The last 2 for this season.
Come on.
Very exciting. And hopefully they can get you a premiership. I'm going to have to change those now that you think you might know what I'm doing, Calvin.
You wrote it down. It's easy to see.
Yeah. Whoops.
Got a question for the traders? Tweet the boys at AFL Fantasy or head to facebook.com/AFL Fantasy Official.
All right, let's have a look at our Twitter questions for this week. Quite a few have been floating through. First one, Cow, do you want to take over the Bombers?
Do I want to?
Yeah.
Hell no. What a horrible job that would be.
Still a better list than what you've got there on your team.
We'll decide that on the weekend, mate.
Definitely better than your draft list, that's for sure.
I'm the form coach in the room.
You
I
are.
think they'll probably come knocking on my door.
You're right, they're knocking on
Lockie
your
still
door.
wants to know, when is fantasy open for 2023? A lot of people feel like that, but probably the week before Christmas it has been the last couple of years. So see how that
Jingle
goes. See if they want to open it up that early when Calvin puts in his request for payment.
Well, that's right, Dog.
Working
It's
before
been a long
Christmas.
year. Long year.
It is a long year.
All right. Tim wants to know, if Calvin wins overall 2 years in a row out of you guys, does that make it 2 flukes or a worrying trend?
It's a worrying
It's a worrying trend, all right.
It's a worrying trend.
It's very worrying.
No. See, that'll be the rub salt into wounds for me. I win, I stay ranked ahead of Calvin.
Right.
He wins and then makes up those points.
I don't want to just
It will be
win.
devastating.
I want to, foot on the throat.
Yeah.
Get him.
Get him.
Yeah.
Brayshaw honestly needs to go out for me now.
I
I think.
would trade him if I was
I
you.
would be.
All right, Michael wants to know, who do
Jumping
I
at
cull for my
shadows?
team so they're not on the end of season trip?
Good one.
Is it Tom Mitchell or Lockie Neal?
See, this is
Who would be
another
better
good
value?
thing. This is your last chance to send a message
Yep.
this year.
Yep.
People that have really annoyed you, just give them the chop. Now, this is a tough one because Lockie Neal, sour taste in people's mouth.
Yeah.
That was a poor
He's given us
effort.
a couple of bad ones too.
Yeah. And now that was all his fault. Now, Tom Mitchell, that hasn't been his fault, as we've talked about. Can I just give you, this is prompting this, a little rundown of the first quarter and a bit for Tom Mitchell. You know how we talked about Sam being disrespecting him? So he started on the bench, right, for the first 6 minutes or so. Yeah. Eventually came on quarter one, only 2 sit on the bench at the end for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Started the second quarter on the ground. How long do you reckon he lasted, Dog?
5.
2.
What?
And then back on the pine.
There's a goal kicked and he...
don't even know how it happened. But, yeah,
Sam
unbelievable
thinks
scenes.
he's got a high IQ doing this, I reckon.
Yeah, 100%. Or a niggle. Anyway, so it's...
Trade him.
It's a very tough one. You could toss a coin. I'd probably keep Lockie Neal in his matchup this week.
Yeah, he's got... So, over his career against Melbourne, he averages 114.
Yeah.
Like, it's massive.
So there it is.
Yep.
And at least he's not getting dragged all the time.
Yep.
And he won't get tagged.
Jack's got this question. Who goes? Dacos, Neal, Walsh or Petrarca? So I'm going to cross Walsh off that list.
Yeah.
So it's Dacos, Neal, Petrarca. He's got to move 2 of them.
Dacos goes.
Dacos.
And Petrarca goes.
Yep.
So hold Neal. There you go, Jack.
There you go, Jack.
Rightio. Tiernan. Would you prioritise trading out an underperforming player, such as a Crisp or English, over a player that's likely to get tagged? So are you choosing an underperformer or are you going to just try to get ahead of the curve by trading that tag?
Jeez.
So a Lockie Neal is a perfect example of that last week.
Yes.
You could have traded because you knew that tag was coming.
Yeah. So
despite the fact that he had 120 or whatever it was last week.
So it would have been better, for example, say this week in a similar scenario, though, if we wound back the clock. So Chippy was always going to be pretty average for his 70 or 80.
Yep.
He did that. So are you trading that out or are you trading Neal out, who got totally clamped? Well, the answer would have been Neal, wouldn't it?
Yep.
So who are we looking at this week? What would the scenario be?
Let's go with Brayshaw.
Yep.
Calvin, would you trade Brayshaw out over Crisp?
Yes.
Cash is a factor, and cash is a factor there.
If Brayshaw has an 80, you could be going to someone like an Oliver who could be a 130.
Yeah.
A significant difference.
Yeah. What if you didn't have, say, it's so many scenarios play into this. Yeah. So, because if you didn't have Doherty and you've got Crisp, you would be better to take Brayshaw's 80 and then add the 50 points that Doc's going to have on Chippy.
Agree.
Wouldn't you?
Yep.
So it does come down to who you...
It's a lot of coin to do that move, though.
100% it would be. People would have a couple of fattened cows. You just go, down a big fat cow.
And that's a play too, obviously. How do you feel about taking in cover into this weekend as a side question to all of that?
It's easy for me because I'm not in a head-to-head, but couldn't care less about cover.
I haven't had much cover all year, so I'll just keep pumping through it.
That could be a final decider because we've got half a dozen differences. One of us has cover, one of us doesn't, and gets that 50 or 60.
Do you have much cover there at the moment?
A little bit.
It
could more than you.
It could also be a decider if you jump at shadows to have cover instead of a proper attacking trade.
Yeah. So then maybe is it then some idea or theory in going, can you make your better trades in the back half of the round on Sunday, for example? Have you got ideal trades you could make there?
This is the reason Cow's going back to back because he doesn't worry about this stuff.
Don't care.
He just goes hard and fast.
Trade.
Oliver. Chippy too. I don't want to get Sinclair because of the risk of getting tagged of basically everyone else. Doc, Dawes, Stu, Short, Sick. Now, they're all 3 or 4 letter names there. Is it a downgrade to a Zorko or Salem or go to Helmet?
Helmet's the answer.
I
don't think we should be overly stressed here about the Sinclair tag. I wouldn't be making moves around that.
So would you take Sinclair over Helmet? No, because Roy's got Helmet in the...
I do have him ahead.
Helmet then. Done. Yeah, but don't go jumping at that tag.
Logan wants to know, into the granny, you beauty. Who do I upgrade? Is it Crisp with a poor matchup? Neal with a tag? Probably no tag, though.
No tag.
Tim English, dual ruck setup.
Get out.
Sam Berry may not be the best point of difference against Port Adelaide.
You've
got him, don't you?
I've got old Berry in there.
There's a chance.
There's one that I can get back out of.
He might be gone.
Berry versus
Port.
Mitch Duncan.
Oh, no.
Wow. God.
What a kick in the
put
guts
a
that
smile
would be.
on your face, didn't it?
What a kick. I better fix that.
You have to fix that.
Oh, we're fixing that.
I'm back on Team Warn Dog.
Look at him.
Just have a look how I can do it now. Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, that'll do.
All right, so for Logan then, who are we getting rid of? Crisp, I think, is there. Crisp and English?
Yes, get them both out. That's what I'm doing.
Leave Sam. Sam Berry shouldn't be too bad, though.
He should tackle his way to 80.
Yeah. I'd back in Sam Berry over Tim English in a duel.
In a dually?
In a duel together. Sam Berry would bring him to the ground pretty easily. He'd snap. Speaking enough, I reckon.
I don't think you give Speaking enough credit. He's a pretty big unit.
Too right he is.
He's tall.
He's not big twig anymore.
No.
He weighs a lot.
He's got pipes. Yeah.
He does.
Yeah. He's a big man.
I think he could take him.
Yep.
All right, Manny, not a question, but just stating, Calvin's captains and the rolling 22 have never been more crucial for me.
Oh, no.
Can't wait for your content to make my last big moves.
Look, I'm on some heavy meds at the moment. Yeah. I'm crook as a dog.
Yep.
Buyer beware. That's all I'll say.
Do your own research with it.
Because some of the criteria might be slightly off.
Yep. Brody, let's tick this one off for Brody. Rich and Walsh for Crisp and Neal. Rich is a good downgrade option for Crisp. Oh, no, it wouldn't be these days. Oh, it'd be about the same.
Who's that?
Rich. You might make a couple of dollars.
You do.
Yeah.
Yep, that's how I get Speaker-No to Smith.
Okay, so are you happy with Rich and Walsh as an option for
Hell
Crisp
yeah.
and Neal?
That is.
Will Walsh score more than Neal?
Yes.
Right.
But I don't think Neal's going to be half as bad, literally, as he was this week. He might actually double it to the point. But I think I do have excitement over Walsh this week.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, going Neal to Walsh does feel risky.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I have Walsh scoring more than Neal.
All right. Who would you be picking up out of for Matt here? Mitch Duncan or Jeremy Cameron? Cameron. What could he do against the Eagles?
Sit out the whole last quarter.
Yeah.
Could he try to
You're
just
not
kick
chasing
more
that.
snags? How many goals is he behind?
A few.
He does like doing things like this too.
He's won a Toyota before.
They've got bigger fish to fry. I see in a dead game like that, I see someone like Duncan still racking up with even more ease than usual. I don't think the West Coast defenders want to be embarrassed by having 10 goals kicked on their head.
Agree.
And they're serviceable, a couple of those boys. They don't want to get embarrassed, do they?
Yeah, no.
No. I think it's Duncan.
Rob wants to know, does he hold Rob for his juicy matchup with Port, or would you look to trade him up to Marshall? So this is the question there. You've got him. He doesn't quite make your rolling 22.
No. But he should be good.
So earlier this year, he played against Lycett and had 115.
Okay. And now he's playing against
it's
nothing.
Nothing.
If Draper and that other guy, Brian, they had 46 hit-outs between them last week against the Port Adelaide combo, which had 8.
So you're not gaining enough from that. You find a bigger issue in your team.
Yeah.
Gosh, I know. Look,
Rob gets another go.
I fully agree, but Hollifer and Marshall's got an unbelievable matchup as well.
The Swans.
Yeah.
Can you get Marshall in another way from a forward?
Yeah, that would be worth considering. That is definitely still an upgrade. And you'd prefer him on the end of year trip. However, I think there might be more points to gain somewhere else.
Agree.
That's what it'll be all about. Is trading Sick Dog for Sinclair an option this week due to Sicily's juicy matchup? So get rid of Sinclair and bring in Sick Dog.
Gosh.
And Sinclair's likely tag.
I don't think it's likely. I reckon he's second in line for that tag, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sick Dog could have the platform for a 130 if the Dogs continue to give up marks in the back 50 like they have.
Yep.
That's Sinclair. That's Sick Dog's cup of tea.
Too right.
Providing as well then that he's not back in the midfield.
Yep.
Which was ridiculous anyway.
Once again, I think there would be something else that you
More
can do.
points to gain somewhere else. Yep. I think you're right.
A couple of quick ones here to finish because, Cow, I see you're itching. You want to get out. Billy, is Operation Dump Mills on account of De Boer 2.0 matchup this week? So, Vindegger. Is he from the Netherlands as well?
Yeah, he is. Does Mills definitely get it?
No,
I
don't think
no, and I don't think, once again, don't go jumping at these shadows.
He'll go and play full back again.
Yeah, he loves it down there.
Chippity chip.
Loves
under
it
the
down
roof.
Yeah, and like I said, that wing.
Yep.
The wing almost saves you.
And look, you know what? If you tag in round 23, you're an idiot. No one tags in round 23.
You look, they'll be out there, Cow. They'll be out there doing it. Don't you worry about that.
Let them run
yes,
free.
they shouldn't.
No.
A few more questions. We'll try to answer more on Thursday night for Thursday Night Live, but this one from Liam. What do coaches who have nothing to play for do with their trades? No grand final, can't get a hat.
Roy?
I'm in that position of thinking I just trade to the best possible.
Yep, you do. And you know what?
Maybe that's where I've been going wrong all year. Trying to trade the best possible.
You still, like, I'm out of the grand final. Okay, it's going to be absolute hell. I have to spend the weekend with these two. One will be in my ear all happy, someone's going well. The other one will be sooking, someone's going bad. So what I'm doing is trading to outscore the pair of them despite not winning their little grand final.
I like it.
So I can still hold my head high on the plane.
I like it.
You won't be holding your head high on the plane after 3 days on the gas.
Oh, I'll be next snap. Oh, well.
Thanks for tuning in. That's our last Monday one, although we're back next Monday for our Mad Monday episode.
What? Oh, man. Hopefully I've got my voice back by then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on Saturday at the London Tavern if you're in Melbourne. Richmond from midday, 12 o'clock. 1 o'clock we'll get up and talk, and then we'll watch some fantasy scores tick over.
It's going to be so much fun.
It'll be good.
I can't wait for that.
Good luck in your grand finals this weekend. We'll see you back on Thursday night for AFL Fantasy Live on afl.com.au and the AFL Live app. And it'll be in your podcast feed as well. See ya. Bye, boys.
Bye, dog.
Bye.